Hi everybody and welcome to the Mental Toughness and Body Show. My name is Rob Evans and I'm your weight loss coach, health strategist and internationally published author, helping take your life and your business, your health, fitness, body and mindset from where you are right now to where it is that you really want to be. And today I want to talk to you about holding the line. Holding the line. This is a phrase that comes from, say, the old battle days. You know what they say in, say, like Braveheart, and you've got imagine you've got all the people on the horses, the army, the forces, they're all in one line and they're heading straight towards the opposition. And they say, hold the line, hold the line. Why? Because if you hold the line, then that means that it's more intimidating, obviously, for everybody else, but there's no chance for someone else to break that line, come in and attack the forces from behind and do all that kind of stuff. So you want to make sure that you hold the line. Now, what can we learn from that in our normal day life? Well, I want to talk about change and how we need to make sure that yesterday I was speaking about continuing to change, focusing on the continual change. Well, when we have some change, we've got to make sure that we hold that change in place before we go to that next level. I want to use my braces, the retainers that I use as my Invisalign, as an example here. So everywhere, I'm using 14 aligners to get my teeth to the perfect position, etc., etc. I'm up to, this is week 8, this week. I put them in Tuesday, today's Thursday. Now, there are certain weeks where only some teeth are moving. Because if you can imagine that you've got to, you can't move everything all at once. So some teeth have to shift outwards first before the other ones can shift inwards. So this week, I've got 2 of my bottom teeth that are really quite painful because they're moving a lot this week. And so the retainers this week in the bottom are slightly different, so they're putting more pressure. Now, after about 3 days, so today's, so I put them in Tuesday, Wednesday, so today's Thursday, today's the 3rd day. After about 3 days, I find that the pain is not as much. Why? Because I find that in the first 3 days it does the work, and then for the rest of the week it holds them in that position. Now each week, those other teeth that have already moved, there's a retainer in place in the same position to hold them in the same place. Because what would happen if I just put in a retainer in and there was no support around those other teeth, but it was just focusing on moving those 2 this week, or 3 or whatever it's doing, then those other teeth are going to slowly move back. And so we need to put in place the retainer so that it retains those ones in position and it moves the other ones at the same time. Otherwise, they'll just go back to where they were. Now, once I get to the end of my 14 weeks, through the day, I don't have to wear them, but I do have to wear them at night time while I'm sleeping for, 6 hours or whatever. Why? Because if I don't, over time, they will eventually go back to where they were. So I have to retain them, hold them in that position. Now, why am I giving you so much detail here? Because I use that as an example so that you can maybe, with the things that I'm about to say here, you can relate it back to the aligners, because retainers, we're retaining something in a position so it doesn't move. Let's talk about your health and wellness. How often have you gone through a period of time where you said, right, I'm going to do this for my body now. I'm going to do this for my health. I want to get more energy. I want to be less tired. I want to get a more defined body. I want to look better in a bikini. I want to look better without a shirt on, in board shorts. Whatever it is for you, you've gone through that stage and you've said, yes, this is what I want for my body. You go through the pain of doing it, and you get to that place and something happens. And you don't just stay where you are, so you've got good results. You don't just stay where you are. Now what you're doing is you're being distracted away from it and some of those old habits are creeping back in. And what eventually happens is you end up back where you were. Or in a weight loss situation, what most people do is they gain at least another 10% of what they lost. So it continues to go on. So we need to learn to be able to hold the line. We need to be able to implement change, and we need to be able to keep it there before we go to that next level, because we never want to regress. We want to progress, not regress. So we need to find ways that we can stay where we are, the retainer. Okay? So when it comes to your health and wellness, the way that I like to coach people is around establishing life-sustainable change. That means no crazy diets, no crazy amount of exercise, going super hard, super heavy, making sure that people don't injure themselves, they're not too sore too often and lose their momentum. They're eating a sensible, balanced meal plan so that there's no extremes. Because I would much rather it take somebody so much longer to get to the position and have it for life than get the result quickly and just flip-flop back to where they were before and just continue to go in, out of diet, exercise. It's the lifestyle that's the most important. And through that process, changing the mindset around health, exercise, how to fuel your body, how to fuel your mindset for growth every single day. They're the things that are really important for that sustainable, long-term, rest of your life type change. So, in order to do that, you've got to make sure you've got the right coach with you to start, if it's on your health and wellness, so that they can tell you what it is that you need to do to match you. The key thing that I do for people is come up with a workable plan for them. Okay, because I could have I'm meeting with 3 people, new people today. Each person is going to have different requirements, different needs. That's okay. It doesn't make one right over another. It just means that it's different. They're just different. We all have a different way that we live our lives. We all have different physiologies. We all have different immune systems, all of that. So we need to work with each person as an individual. But a lot of the principles remain the same. And that's about the consistency. It's about the workable plan that is life sustainable for each person, but working out what does that sustainability mean. For some people it might be, well, I'm going to do a 10-15 minute workout 4 times a week. Okay, great. Let's just make sure that it's on the exercises that you can do. You don't need to go to a gym, but if you do, what are you going to do there? If you're going to do it at home, what can you do at home? What's some cheap, easy, transportable equipment that you can use anywhere in the world? What are the things that you really enjoy? Some people have to do all their workouts outside. Most people do them inside, but some people, they can only work out outside. That's what really thrives them. Great, let's do one outside. Here's what you can do. Some people only want to work out in a gym. Some people want to, get on stage and have a six-pack and do all those sorts of things. Other people are like, I don't want to do that. I just want to go to the gym, do it for my mental health, look really good in myself, feel comfortable in my own skin, and just know that I'm doing the best thing for me. You've got high performers, you've got those people that really don't really care about it too much, they don't want to spend a lot of time on it. So let's just set them up for that type of success. But you've got to learn the skills that you need to do daily so that you can hold the line. If it's in your, if I look at what I do in my business, there are certain things that I have to do every day to make sure that I feel like I'm progressing, to feel like I'm at my optimum and getting the best out of myself. I'm not wasting my day. One of the things that I've learned since owning a business is that how precious my time is, and that I don't want to get to the end of the day and say, wow, these are how many hours I wasted yesterday. If I use yesterday as an example, so I co-parent with my 2 girls' mum, And so they're with me for, say, it's roughly half the week, and then they're with their mum for the other half of the week. Because my youngest, she came out of hospital, she's still got a whole bunch of challenges right now that we're managing, and it requires constant, I'm talking constant attention. So what that means is that I can't be as productive as I was, say, 12 months ago, even during COVID, because it requires so much attention, way more than just homeschooling. It's way more than that. So that means I can't get as much done. Now, there's part of me where it absolutely drives me bananas, because I think these are the things that I could be doing right now. This is really important for me to do this. That's one side of me. The other part says, this is really important for my daughter right now. I need to do this for her, and ease up on some pressure on the other side of what I'm doing, because this is really important right now. And so today, being a Thursday, is a day when I don't have the kids for the entire day. I will today, because we've got a hospital appointment, and she's going to be spending a number of hours here. But I use those days, and this coming weekend I won't have the kids, and hopefully she won't be in hospital again on this weekend. So it means this weekend I can spend the time working on those things that I couldn't do through the week, and those extra things, so that I can get on top of those things that I wasn't being able to do through the week. So I try and manage my time a bit better in that way. But every single day, there are things that I have to try and make sure around those things that I do, so that I feel like I am making the progress. I'm not wasting the time. So yesterday I feel like, on one hand, I wasted time. So I had to spend so much time doing things that were necessary, but they weren't the things that I really wanted to work on one side. But the other side of me says, well, this is okay, because I was taking care of my daughter. My point here is that you need to come up with that daily checklist. I have a daily success checklist that I go through to make sure that I've worked out what are the key things that I need to be doing every day to make sure that I am getting the most out of myself. I didn't used to do this. So this is one of those things in holding the line. I implemented a lot of things. I tried a whole bunch of different things that worked. Some didn't, some did. I got rid of the ones that didn't, and came up with this checklist to say, well, if I want to stay where I am, because I've written my book, I've done my program, I've done all this great work, I've built my business to a level that's really great now, I don't want to slide back and just become complacent. So I want to not just stay where I am, I want to move forward. So I would say right now, I've kind of got a retainer on my business. I'm holding where I am. It's really hard because of the other commitments that I've got right now, family-wise, to grow it significantly. So I've kind of got the retainer on, and the one I referred to before, where, okay, today we're just growing a couple of teeth. We're not changing everything, but we're changing a couple of things so that we can still grow and move forward. So work out what that is for you. What are those things that you have to do daily to help you succeed? Now, if you go back, and you'll hear me talk about a daily success blueprint through either the Mental Toughness and Body Show. I've also done it on the Rob Evans 365 podcast. Just search for it and you'll find that in detail. But some of the key things that I need to make sure that I do are around planning at the start of the day or at the end of the previous day, or setting my week up for success, where I say these are the key outcomes that I want to achieve for today. I schedule them. I pick no more than 2 to 4 things in total of what I want to achieve in terms of key outcomes. I work on those, I schedule them, and I get them done. The other big thing that I have overriding all of this and sitting on top of it is, I call it like a COVID 90-day strategy. If we go into lockdown again, then these are the things I'll work on over the 90 days. So even though we're not in lockdown right now, I still go to that document. It's my planning document. These are the key things that I want to achieve over the next 90 days. And then I make sure that I'm looking at that on a regular basis and saying, okay, this is the outcome that I want to achieve this week. Today's a good example for me. I've got this new website for my online program that I've just set up. We just got the domain working yesterday, and it's all set to go. So now it's just about doing some final checks, putting all the links into my other website to it, and then doing some marketing, so creating the marketing campaign around it. That's a big one for me that has been sitting there for a while, that is now going to get done. So it's only because I've got that 90-day strategy that I keep moving forward. And I've found that when I don't have that, I'm not doing strategic thinking. I'm not standing back from the detail of the day-to-day and saying, okay, so if I had to start again, or if I'm looking at my business now, what are some of the other aspects that I'd like to be doing? Bang, this is it. So that's a really important part for me. The scheduling, making sure that I'm growing every day as well. So I'm making sure that I'm doing my reading. For me personally, I listen to podcasts, but I don't listen to a lot of podcasts. I really only listen to my coach at the moment. But reading's an important one for me. Making sure that I'm reading every day, reading at least 10, 15 plus 20 pages, so that I'm learning. If I'm not learning, I feel like I'm dying. So that's another really important one for me as well. So the key is to find out what are those things that really work for you. Just last week, I think I was talking about on this show about what are those things physically for me that I need to make sure that I do every single day to make sure that I step forward in my life every day with confidence, knowing that I'm living my best life. That's what I need to do. A key one for me in success is also making sure that I'm doing my workouts. Okay, 3 strength workouts a week, making sure I'm also getting my a reasonable amount of steps in to help support my back, but also my mindset as well. It's all for me about physical and mental health, and making sure that I've got that balance of those things right. The key is about working out what's right for you. And most people don't do the work in this space to say, this is what I need to do to hold the line. Okay? Most people don't want to change, but when you do change, you want to hold the line and then say, right, I'm not going anywhere backwards from here, I'm only going forwards. Maybe I might stay here for a bit, but I'm still looking to move forward. And when you introduce those things daily into your life to get you to change, then you'll find that you won't stand still very long. You're always looking to move forward, and that's the way that I like it to be for my life. Each day that I get up, I'm looking to build success, want to be more successful. It's just an innate drive that comes from within me. I realise not everybody has that, but it's something that comes within me, and these are some of the strategies that I use. But you've got to hold the line. Now, if you want to connect with me, you can go to thementaltoughnessandbodyshow.com, opt in for your free consultation. I'd love to connect with you, and let's start making 2021 our collective best years ever. See you tomorrow.